Hello, my crafty friends. Welcome to Cardz TV. This is Mary, and today we're going to make a card using this paper from this adorable paper pad. My good friend Lynn from bootsandblingtime.blogspot.com sent me this, and I've been having the best time with these papers. They are so cute, so much fun. They're from Echo Park, and this is Splash, so it's great for summer, but I'm using it for springtime cards as well. And there's some great colors in here, bright, vivid colors, lots of fun. So we're going to be using papers from this paper pad. We're going to be using 3 cartridges: Cardz Rule, Elegant Edges, and Birthday Bash. I loved the shaped cards that are in Birthday Bash, so I decided I wanted to do one that looks like a postage stamp. Now this is square, and I know everybody worries about sending square cards through the mail because it costs more, but guess what? If you cut this one at 4 1/4 inches, which is what I did, it fits in an A2 size envelope. So that's not going to cost you extra postage to mail this square card. Now if you pile on the embellishments, it may cost you 68 cents to send this because it will be heavier, but the shape will not cost you extra. So that's what we're going to be using out of Birthday Bash, is this square card. Love this. Looks like a postage stamp. Then we're going to be using an adorable little crocodile from Cardz Rule. And I had to cut him kind of small. Isn't he cute? He's wearing a bib, and he's got a spoon in one paw. Do you call it a paw? Anyway, he's holding a spoon and a fork, and they're teeny tiny, but I was able to get them cut out and got him all put together and inked. I cut him at 2 inches, so he's pretty small, but he's going to work great on the front of our card. I love him. So he came from Cardz Rule. And from Elegant Edges, we've got a mat we're going to cut out to put our little crocodile on that's going on the front of our card. So let me get everything else that we're going to need, and we're going to put this cute little card together. Okay, here's our card base, and this card is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And like I said, I cut it from the Birthday Bash cartridge, and here it is on page 31. And this will fit perfectly in an A2 size envelope, or invitation size. And I went ahead and cut this out of this beautiful blue and scored it and folded it in half. Now to go on top of this, I wanted to add a green mat. And I wanted a striped, but I didn't have any green stripe. So I took this plain green, this is Basil cardstock, and I don't know if you can see this, but I ran it through the crimper tool, and then I just took my hand and flattened it back out, and it looks just like it has stripes on it. Can y'all see that? And this is cut at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and we're going to ink around the edges with some Tim Holtz tea-dye distress ink before we adhere this to the front of our card. I love this beautiful blue and green together. And we'll just put a little bit around the edges. Just helps to give it some definition and make it stand out a little bit from our blue background. And we'll keep that out because we're going to ink some other things as well. And we're going to go ahead and put this on the front of our card. And I think I want my stripes running sideways. I'm going to try that again sometime. I don't know what made me think to do that. I just thought, well, I want stripes. I don't have stripes. I'll make my own stripes. And it went pretty well. Okay, we'll go ahead and get this centered and adhered down. Now, our next layer came from the Echo Park Splash Pack. I don't know if you can see that. It's yellow and it's got little white circles all in there. We're going to go around this as well. We're not going to adhere this on just yet, though, because I've got a border I'm going to put on it, and I've got some ribbon. So we'll just get all these white edges inked up. And this is double-sided paper. Isn't that pretty? That's like sun rays coming out. And on top of this, this is 3.5 by 3.5. All these layers are square. On top of this, this is another piece from that same paper pack, and I love it because it's got the blue and the yellow and the green that's going to be in our card. That's where I pulled my colors from. And this little border is 1.5 inches by 3.5. We're going to ink this, and I'm just inking all these very lightly. I've got my polka dotted border put down, and I've got some turquoise and white grosgrain ribbon that's going to go right across there. This is gingham. Love it. And I'll just put some glue runner on there, and we'll put it across the front. And we're going to center this on our green mat. Looking good. Like that. Okay, from the Elegant Edges cartridge, on page 37, there is a shape that looks like the postage stamp, but here it is in an oblong, and that's what I wanted to put my little crocodile on. So I cut the oblong and the shadow, and I cut it out of the same green that I used for the first mat, and also the yellow. And I cut it at 3 inches. So I cut the oblong out of yellow and the shadow out of green at 3 inches, and that's on page 37. And I went ahead and stamped my sentiment up here in the corner, and it's "Let's do lunch." Is that perfect with that little crocodile with the bib and the spoon and the fork? I love that. But that sentiment came from my very own stamp set, Good Friends. I love this one. This one's so much fun. Here it is right down here. Let's do lunch. I'm going to do one soon for shoe shopping. Love that one too. And also need some retail therapy. And who doesn't need retail therapy, right? I could always use some of that. But we're going to go ahead and do some inking around our mats and get those put on our card. And I stamped my sentiment with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. But we'll go ahead and get this inked up and adhered together and put on the front of our card. I got the two mats adhered together and adhered to the front of the card, and it's all ready for the little crocodile to go right there. So let me tell you about the crocodile, and you'll find it in the brochure that comes with the Crocs Rule cartridge. We've got cuts over here. I'll call this row 1. Well, if you look over here on row 2, this little crocodile would be cut number 7. And I cut the back of him out of black. This next layer out of green. His bib is red. And then I cut his spoon and fork out of a pale blue. And all of that was cut at 2 inches. And I've got him on 2 thicknesses of foam tape, and I'm going to put him right here on the front of our card. And it just wouldn't seem right if I didn't put some buttons on here, would it, guys? So I've got 3 little tiny pretty blue buttons I'm going to put right over here with some glue dots. So I'm going to go ahead and get the little crocodile stuck down and my buttons, and when I come back I'll show you the finished card. Here's our finished little friendship card. I think it turned out really cute. I love the bright colors. Wouldn't this be fun to send to a girlfriend and invite her out to lunch? I just love it. Love that little crocodile. Thanks so much for coming by today, guys. And I'll see you again really soon. Bye now.